Hi everybody, my name is Victoria. Welcome back to my channel. Better late than never. Here is a July TBR video, and I am definitely overbooking myself here this July. If you know about my reading pace at all this year, so far I've been a very slow reader, and that's just where I'm at. But somehow I have 9 books on this TBR. It is not going to happen, most likely, to read 9 books, but I am in the middle of like 4 or 5 of them, and so maybe, but I have hopes and dreams for July. There are so many fun things happening, like Jane Austen July and K-TROPEATHON, and I kind of want to just like dabble into all of them. I'm kind of lightly participating in various readathons, and I just want to support my friends. So I kind of have 1 book per readathon, but there's a few things going on. So first, let's jump into it. Jane Austen July. I try to participate every July, and that will be, for me, Northanger Abbey this year, which is the group read, I think, for the first half of July. And this is a reread for me. I am familiar with Northanger Abbey. I think I read it maybe 2 or 3 years ago, and it is in my lower echelon of Jane Austen books. This one was one I thought I was going to like, but I didn't get it in the end. And I think it will be better on the second time, especially because I have a little bit more knowledge of what this book is, and that it's a little bit more satirical for Jane Austen. And I'm interested to see where my thoughts are, because I know people that love this one and think it's very underrated. And I would like to improve my opinion of Northanger Abbey if I can. So that'll be my first Jane Austen July goal. If I can, they're also reading the Juvenilia of Jane Austen, which sounds really interesting to me. I'm not really prioritizing it, but if it happens and if I'm in the mood for it, I will be participating in that as well. And that's probably it for me for Jane Austen July, just because there's a bunch of other things I also want to finish. Next up, of course, I am co-hosting the Bleak House read-along along with Christy and Naomi. And it was going to be also Janelle from Too Fond of Books, but as you probably know already, Janelle recently passed away, and so we are dedicating this read-along to her and thinking of her all along the way. So if you would like to participate in Bleak House, we are starting it, and I do have a live show scheduled down below with some chapter breakdowns. We are reading this over 2.5 months, so you have a lot of time to dive into this really chunky book with us. And it seems to be a very polarizing one. I've heard either people really love Bleak House and it's one of their favorite Dickens, or people really don't like it. So there's not a lot of middle ground, I feel. So I'm interested to see where I'm gonna fall on this one. Next up, I do want to finally reread Assassin's Apprentice. I've been saying that I'm gonna be doing this for several months, and I think I was supposed to do this in April, and it didn't happen. So this one I'll probably move up on my priorities a bit, but I would like to reread this so that I can continue in the trilogy and finish. I know Robin Hobb's going to be an author for me, and I did read this one already, but it's just been too long now, and I don't feel like I can continue in the trilogy until I reread this one. I'm also in the middle of Moby Dick, which has no timeline really. I'm just kind of like picking away at it, and it's kind of working for me so far. Funny enough, it seems like everybody's reading Moby Dick this summer. It's been coming up on like various book club picks, and it's one of those, every once in a while that happens on BookTube, where like serendipitously a bunch of people pick the same classic to read without really talking to each other, and that seems to be happening with Moby Dick. So I'm only a few chapters in, probably. I'm still very near the beginning, but I'm enjoying it more than I thought I would. I was a bit intimidated by this one, but I think I'm going to like it. So I am continuing on with Moby Dick. I'm also currently reading Harlem Shuffle, and this one I'm about 50% through. This is by Colson Whitehead, and it's my first Colson Whitehead attempt, and this one I think is a bit of a lesser loved one, but I have been enjoying it. And now that I've got kind of my my pacing going with the writing, and I've connected with the characters a bit more. I am invested in this, and I wasn't sure I was going to be, but I am. So I am enjoying Harlem Shuffle and definitely going to finish it in July. I'm also buddy reading Cloud Cuckoo Land by Anthony Doerr, and this is with Christy, and we are still at the beginning of this as well. I'm about 100 pages in and liking it also. I'm honestly liking everything I'm reading. But I'm also at the beginning of most of the things that I'm reading, so we'll see if my opinion changes as we go. But this is an author who I have given 5 stars to a previous book, so I am excited to see where I fall on this one. And it has so many perspectives, and there's so much going on, and I'm just very curious to see how all of the stories tie together, because they are in like different time periods, and also in like, one is in space and the other is in like ancient times. So it's all over the place, but in like the best way, in a way that I like. So I am sifting through this one. There are a lot of characters to keep track of, so that is one thing I'm a little bit struggling with, because I'm trying to balance too many other books, really. So I really need to just focus on this one for a little while so that I can get my bearings a little bit more. But I've really enjoyed what I've read so far. And then of course we have K-TROPEATHON happening, hosted by Tiffany and Christy and another person who I can't remember right now, but I'm gonna link all of that info down below. And this is celebrating Korean K-pop or like K-drama tropes. And I have just dabbled into K-dramas mostly. I'm not a big K-pop fan, but I can appreciate why it has such a big following. It's not my wheelhouse exactly, but I did want to participate, and I think the best way will probably be to participate in the watch along, which I'm going to try to do, or at least if I can't make it to all the watch alongs, I'm definitely going to be watching the drama myself, and then I will be reading the group read Once Upon a K-Prom, excuse me, by Kate Cho. And this looks cute and fun, and something that is a little more summery. I feel like I have a lot of heavy reads, and so something a little lighter like this, light and cute, sounds like a good time. So I'm hoping to participate in that as well. And then I also wanted to shout out Melissa and Rainey for starting the JANELLATHON readathon, which by the time this video goes up is already past. But because I'm such a slow reader right now, I don't do well with like 1 week readathons, which JANELLATHON in honor of Janelle from Too Fond of Books. I just didn't finish a book in that week that it was taking place, but I did want to and wanted to participate. So my whole month of July is going to be JANELLATHON. I'm going to keep it going, but I'm going to participate in that with an Agatha Christie book, which I've never read Agatha Christie before. Shockingly, I feel like that is an author who everyone's read at least something, but this is actually my first time reading an Agatha Christie, and I wanted to start from the beginning of one of her series. So I'm going to start with the first Poirot book, which is The Mysterious Affair at Styles. And so I don't really know a lot going in, other than I am at least familiar from like a pop culture standpoint with Agatha Christie and with Poirot. So this will be my first Agatha Christie in honor of Janelle. And finally, I'm hoping to read Kate Howe's Patreon group pick, which is The Belton Estate by Anthony Trollope. And this would be my first Trollope as well. And I'll have to do a little more research on this one, because if this is not a great place to start with Trollope, I will probably pick something else as far as Trollope goes. But if this seems like an okay place to start, I would like to participate in that. And that's it. That's plenty. That is more than I'm probably going to finish. But I have a little hope because I'm in the middle of things. So a lot of these things I have already started, or I'm halfway through some of them. So we'll see. But I'm just excited for a summer reading, and I just want to read all the things. And so I'm just starting all the things, basically. Let me know what you're excited to read in July. Are you participating in any of these events? There is so much always going on BookTube, but I feel like July in particular, there's a lot going on. And so I would love to know what you're excited about this July. Thanks so much for clicking and watching my video today. I also have my Instagram and Goodreads and Discord server all linked down below if you would like to follow me there. And then don't forget to subscribe to this channel also and give this video a like. If you made it all the way to the end, leave me a whale emoji or a sea creature if there's not a whale for Moby Dick. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Keep reading great books, and until next time, bye-bye.